What up, leaders? Welcome back to my channel. It is Saturday morning in Georgetown. We are at Cemetery Road here in Georgetown. And this is what is happening. So the last time we were here, what I showed you is that they were building new drainage systems, new gutters, concrete gutters beside the cemetery. So that is the Larry Pinter Cemetery. And over here is where the road works are happening. So they were building these concrete drains on the southern boundary of the cemetery. All right, so this is what is happening here. What I didn't realize is they're also building the road again. So this is a retaining wall. All right, so they're making a retaining wall, and I suppose there'll be several retaining walls by the time they're done, by the time they're finished. But those retaining walls will hold back the earth on this side of the road. On the other side of the road, that drain apparently is going to be filled in to some extent to make this road wider. Now this is Sussex Street, if you don't know, all the way out. It goes all the way out to the Penitence Market. So this road, Sussex Street, apparently will become a throughway that runs beside the cemetery, which is a good thing because it adds another route to go from east to west. Now this side, that's of course, we're looking north on Cemetery Road. Remember, we looked at this Cemetery Road the last time we were here. This side, that is the east side of what are we calling this, Sussex Street, is also being extended. As you can see, there's some heavy earth moving machinery already preparing what used to be a dam. All right, so in the beginning we thought this was just drainage works, but looking at this now, it seems as if this is also roadworks. This is a canal, an important canal, of course, catchment for water runoff in the neighborhood. But it seems as if they are spreading sand onto the surface of this, what used to be reserve, an embankment, and that is going to become a throughway, a road that goes all the way to Mandela Avenue. That's new. So it's more than just drainage works. It's more than just putting concrete drains on the south side of the cemetery. All right, that's the cemetery ahead of us on both sides of Cemetery Road, but they're also turning this dam into a road, and that is new. So my guess is that by the time they're finished, or when they're finished, you'll be able to drive all the way from from Water Street, well, at least from the end of Sussex Street, the western end of Sussex Street, by the river, by the Demerara River, you'll be able to drive from the Demerara River all the way to Mandela Avenue. And of course, once you cross over Mandela Avenue, you're into Meadowbrook and all those neighborhoods west. So this is what's happening here. This is new, guys. This is absolutely new. I thought it was just a construction of the roads, of the drains, but it's going to be more than just drains. It's going to be a roadway. So we'll be able to take a look at this as it develops, because it's an interesting and transformative piece of infrastructure, right? It's going to make moving from Sussex, moving down Sussex Street or up Sussex Street, all the way to Mandela Avenue possible, which is a distance of about, I would say, 1, 2, 3, about 4 miles, 3 or 4 miles. And it's going to augment the existing roads in this neck of the woods. So that's what's happening here in this neck of the woods, guys. This is Saturday morning traffic on Cemetery Road. We're heading south. Actually, what I wanted to do this morning is to take a look at the entrance to the river bridge. And we're starting all the way out here and collecting information as we go along, because I'm convinced that they're building a roundabout at the entrance to the river bridge, the Demerara River Bridge, on Heroes Highway, while some people are still arguing that it might be an overpass, or what they call a flyover. But I'm not convinced that Guyana can build overpasses yet. There's not a single overpass in the entire country. But it's time for us to build 21st century infrastructure, and I'm not sure that this government is able to do that. So we're going to have to wait for the future governments, maybe the future generations that come later, and build 21st century infrastructure. But it's a start. But that's what's happening at this intersection. This is the Independence Boulevard intersection. Last time we were here, I described the very expensive children's play park that was being built here. Alright, this is Independence Boulevard, and the wooden fence surrounds the play park, the very expensive play park. We looked at the billboard and showed you how expensive it is to build this play park. That's Independence Boulevard. Here in Georgetown, Guyana. And it's right here at the intersection with Cemetery Road. It's the East Penitence Health Center. Guyana has a community health center system where your first interaction with the government healthcare system is at your community center. You should be able to get vitals taken there, if you wanted a pain medication or some emergency treatment for your child. That's the first place you go. You want some contraceptives or other regularly used medication. But that's the system here. That's the system here. That's the healthcare system here. We're going to talk a little bit more about healthcare in Guyana because it's a very popular topic right now because of the way the country is changing. Yes, but this is the continuation of Cemetery Road to the south. Last time we looked at this section of the Cemetery Road, might have been 6 months, maybe a year ago. They were still building the sidewalks in the road surface. Now they've completed. However, the landscaping is still lacking. There could be a lot more effort made to, for example, manicure the grass on the side of the sides of this walking path down the center of that's the median of this road. There's not a whole lot of attention. Government doesn't seem to want to pay for this. St. Pius Church. That's looking back. Where we came from, this is the Liana Nursery School. And straight ahead is the Penitence Police Station. But here again is example of make it up as you go work. Instead of surveying the entire street and laying out the sidewalk, they decided to just make it up as you go. So this end of the street does not align with the first part, so they just added an angle to the bridge. So this pedestrian bridge is built at an angle because they didn't bother to survey the entire length of the street and lay out the median the same way all the way through. But this is it, guys. This is what's happening. This is East La Penitence Police Outpost here. Alright, that's East La Penitence Police Outpost. Morning. This is a local beer garden in this neck of the woods. That's East La Penitence. And on this side, that's headed towards East Roundabout. So they've completed the sidewalk here. As you can see, they've completed the sidewalk on both sides. That's the police station, the East La Penitence Police Station. And what you have, of course, is again quite inconsistent. Every part of the city has its own system for sidewalks. Again, it's not smooth, so it would be a dangerous place to ride up to have a wheelchair. It's not wheelchair accessible in that sense. You can't get onto and off the sidewalk. There are no curb cuts. But like I said, what's going to have to happen eventually is the next government or the next group of Guyanese, next generation of Guyanese, are going to have to come behind and rebuild a lot of this shabby work to make it, bring it to international standards. But this is what's happening. You have coconut trees here overhanging the sidewalk and near to the power lines. That, of course, is not something we think about here. Coconut trees near to the power lines. We don't think about this until there is some kind of emergency, when there's a fire or the power line breaks and so on. So these are the things that we don't get. In other words, what I find most disappointing about living in this part of the world, this part of the South, the global South, is the lack of attention to detail. And I used to wonder why. For example, you would go to places like North America or even some parts of Europe, cities that is, and find every detail planned for, thought about. And here in Guyana, in Georgetown, it seems as if these details are not even given a second thought, not even given a first thought. The fact that the sidewalks should be consistent and the same. The fact that you shouldn't park on the sidewalks. These are things that are not. It's kind of lawlessness, but I think what they used to call them in sociology is tight and loose. So you have tight societies and loose societies. Tight societies like Japan, where lots and lots of rules are followed willingly by citizens, and you have loose societies like India, like Guyana, where it seems as if there are no rules, but everybody does what they want. And the question is, can you move a loose society towards a tight society? Because a tight society actually is safer to live in. A loose society, you get all kinds of random accidents, crime, death, because it's unregulated, such as the sidewalk. So if you notice, the sidewalk has changed suddenly from about 4 feet wide, right where we've come from. It was about 4 feet wide, maybe 5 feet wide, and suddenly it's now 3 feet wide. And if you turn onto, we're now at the intersection with Mandela Avenue. If you turn onto Mandela Avenue, suddenly the sidewalk is now a drain cover. It's just a drain cover, and it could be a different width. Maybe it's 3.5 feet wide. So this kind of inconsistency, this lack of regulation, is what makes Guyana a loose society. Can you move a loose society towards a tight society? I don't know. Hopefully we can, but we will find out eventually. That's what's happening in this neck of the woods, guys. Share this video with friends and family around the world. Let people know what's happening in the fastest growing economy in the world, Guyana. Later.